Hello everyone, Tom with Capo Fetish. Let's talk about some cool 60s psychedelic B-sides. Let's start off with one of the earliest psychedelic songs to hit the top 15, top 20 in 1966. I'm talking about the Byrds, the flip side of 8 Miles High, the song titled Why. This is a Sundazed reissue here. This came out in 2017. This is the original version of 8 Miles High and Why, recorded at RCA Studios in December of 1965. And because it was recorded at RCA and not a Columbia-owned studio, Columbia refused to release these particular versions. And so they went back in the studio in early 66 and cut another version of 8 Miles High and Why. And I think these are the better versions. These have a much more kick, much more punch. Nothing against the original versions, the RCA versions, but these ones really, really are great. And this is continuing, the song Why continues in the tradition of 8 Miles High with that kind of raga rock vibe, the Coltrane-inspired and Ravi Shankar-inspired vibe, and features that Roger McGuinn solo, kind of similar to 8 Miles High. And then in early 1966, for the album Younger Than Yesterday, they recorded a third version of Why, and this is my least favorite version. This one just lacks punch, it lacks energy, in my opinion. But great song, Why, from 1966. Just really one of the earliest examples of psychedelic rock as it was emerging in the 1960s, the mid-1960s. Another great B-side is the B-side from Love's Alone Again Or single, and the flip side is A House Is Not a Motel. This is the second track featured on Love's Forever Changes. Sort of a dark track concerning paranoia, war, a lot of like dark imagery, but the verses are very kind of softly sung by Arthur Lee, and then the song picks up, and then you get this just killer, really just very, very ferocious sounding guitar solo outro from Johnny Eccles. And it's just one of just many great tracks from Forever Changes. And a lot of people consider this one of their greatest tracks from that album. And it is just, yeah, it just really packs a punch and still holds up in this day and age. And I love it. A House Is Not a Motel, the flip side of Alone Again Or from Love, from the album Forever Changes from 1967. Fine B-side. Another wonderful track here is the flip side of Pleasant Valley Sunday by the Monkees. And this is one of those tracks that I remember as a child hearing my brother and sisters play. And I love the track Words. So we've got a Mickey Dolenz vocal. We've got a little call and response going on from Peter Tork. A little organ solo in the middle. Definitely has kind of this little pop psych vibe going on. Written by Tommy Boyce and Bobby Hart, who wrote a lot of the Monkees tracks, along with Carole King and Neil Diamond, a lot of outside writers. But I've always loved Words. And then I found out, I never even knew this, there was a version recorded for the album More of the Monkees, their second album. And I've got to pull that up. I've got to hear that. It sounds a little different. I guess there's a flute solo in the middle, instead of the organ solo by Peter Tork. But Words, both these songs, Pleasant Valley Sunday, Words, of course, from the Pisces, Jones, Aquarius, Jones Limited album from 1967. One of my favorite all-time Monkees tracks there, Words from 1967, written by Tommy Boyce and Bobby Hart. Fantastic stuff. One of the few Doors songs I hear very few people talk about is the flip side of People Are Strange, and I'm talking about the track Unhappy Girl, both tracks from the Strange Days album. Just an incredible little ditty, a pop psychedelic ditty from the Doors. You've got these kind of, swirling sounds going on. Jim Morrison's vocal sounds like it's kind of fed through kind of maybe a phaser or maybe a flange effect. But I've always loved Unhappy Girl. I think it's just a fantastic, magical little track from Strange Days. So again, another great B-side from 1967. Great A and B side, People Are Strange, and the flip side, Unhappy Girl from the Doors. Now, here's a track here, not really a B-side, actually not released till 1979, but I had to feature it here because I think it is one of the most kick-ass covers of the song Gloria, written by Van Morrison, and it's Jimi Hendrix's version. This is a single here. This was a little bonus 45 that was featured in this album here that released in 1979, The Essential Jimi Hendrix Volume 2. There was a Volume 1, which was a double album. And I remember a friend next door had this album. His stepfather kept playing this album over and over, and he would crank this version of Gloria about as loud as can be. It was just blasting through his house. And I think this version, it's so loose, and there's a lot of just off-the-cuff stuff going on here. Jimi Hendrix just throwing a little bit of storyline in the middle, kind of rearranging the whole thing of Gloria, playing some just blistering guitar. And this goes on for, I believe, 8 minutes. Like, even the flip side, there's nothing on the flip side here. Here's the main track here. This was recorded in October 1968 at TGG Studios in Hollywood. So I don't know what else he was recording at the time, but this is the most loose, fun version of Gloria that you'll ever hear. And it just balls to the wall. And it's fantastic. So if you've never heard it, if you never heard Jimi Hendrix's version of Gloria, check this version out online. It'll blow your mind. So this came out in October, or was recorded in October 68, not released till 1979 on this album, The Essential Jimi Hendrix, Volume 2. Kind of a cool compilation, not a necessity, but a pretty cool compilation. So Gloria from Jimi Hendrix from 1968. And then another one, too. This is a replica of the single Magic Bus from The Who, a UK replica from 1968. This came inside the Who Sellout box set. I had to pull this out for this video. And the song is John Entwistle's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, which is a really cool track. And very kind of macabre sounding. And the first time I ever heard it was on this compilation, this US compilation called Magic Bus, The Who on Tour. Of course, it's not a live album. But a kind of an interesting compilation, disguised as Run, 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 Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, I Can't Reach You, Our Love Was, Call Me Lightning, Magic Bus, Someone's Coming, Dr. Doctor, Bucket Tea, Pictures of Lily. I remember buying this at a bookstore back in the late 70s. But I love this track. It is so cool. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, the flip side of the UK single Magic Bus. Really, really cool stuff. And one of those songs that no one really talks about too much. And Entwistle did write some pretty cool tracks. Heaven and Hell, Boris the Spider, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, etc., My Wife. So paying homage here to John Entwistle, a fine psychedelic tinge tune from 1968, or maybe it was recorded in 67 and put on the Magic Bus single in 68. So great stuff. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde from The Who. Another great one here is the Lovin' Spoonful, the B-side of She Is Still a Mystery, the track Only Pretty What a Pity, sung by Joe Butler, the drummer. In the middle, they break down and they have these kind of warp sounding vocals. And if you go online and you go on YouTube, there's a version of it, of them playing it on the Ed Sullivan Show. And Jerry Yester is doing this kind of psychedelic tinge vocal through a hairdryer. So kind of interesting stuff. Good stuff here. And then last but not least, I could have thrown in the Beatles' Rain as a good B-side, which is one of their greats. And then there's I Am the Walrus, the flip side of Hello Goodbye. And what else is there? Oh, there's many. But I just absolutely, this is one of my favorite Beatle tracks of all time. This is a top 20. The flip side of All You Need Is Love, Baby You're a Rich Man. I absolutely think that is one of the greatest verse melodies of all time. How does it feel to be one of the beautiful people? That vocal, that melody is so infectious, so amazing. This is probably one of the earliest songs I remember growing up, hearing it. It's just something magical about it. And if I had to pick between both songs, I would pick Baby You're a Rich Man over All You Need Is Love any day of the week. I think it's absolute magic. So those are just some various B-side psychedelic tracks I'm featuring here today on Capo Fetish. If you have any more to add, throw them in the comments section as always. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you soon. If you dig the content across the channel, Please subscribe. I'd appreciate it. And we'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.